Hi, my dear lovely students. How are you? Welcome to this session. So here in this very interesting video, we are going to learn about parallel structure. See, when we talk about verbal, we need to understand that grammar concepts play a pivotal role, and you will find a lot of questions coming if grammar is an area which is being tested in the exam. So we are going to learn about parallel structure, how this concept is driven by conjunctions. So we'll have good awareness of conjunctions. We'll learn the rules. We'll understand what is parallel structure, what are the nitty-gritties that we need to take care while we solve the questions. While we learn all the tricks, then we are going to apply the tricks to question solving. So it should be an interesting session for you to participate. Please put your phones on mute and keep your pencils and copies handy so that you can make important notes wherever and whenever required. Right? My name is Juhi Narula and I'm extremely happy to take this session for you. So let's get started. Now, see, as we continuously talk about this particular point, that all the major errors that we talk in, verbal section. So I'll just pen them down for you so that there would be a quick revision also, and you would understand that. See, majorly there are six major errors. So, subject verb agreement, you must have heard the names, right? And you must have seen the videos also that we have created on the same topics. Then it is misplaced modifiers. Then there is this very important concept that we are doing today, which is of parallel structure. The next is tenses. I'm sure you are aware. Next is pronouns. You also call them pronoun ambiguity. So both the rules of pronouns and this concept of pronoun ambiguity, this is a very frequently tested thing. And the last would be phrasal verbs, uh, or we call idioms and phrases. All these major six concepts are driven from 8 parts of speech that we have learnt in our school, right? So what are those 8 parts of speech? We have also done a video on 8 parts of speech. So in case you've got any doubt or you would want a revision, please do watch the video. So the 8 parts of speech are, so what do we mean by parts of speech? Parts of speech means that whatever you are speaking, each word belongs to a category, right? So what are those categories? Those categories are nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. So why I'm writing this in front of you? Just to help you relate that all the concepts that we learn, the major errors. So I'll just give it a title also, major errors. These major errors are nothing but advanced application of these concepts, right? So when we talk about misplaced modifiers, this is a concept which comes from adverbs and adjectives, right? When we talk about subject verb agreement, this comes from nouns, pronouns, and verbs. When we talk about parallel structure, this concept comes from conjunction that we are going to learn and discuss. When we talk about tenses, so what is the difference between tenses and verbs? Verbs tell you that the action is happening, but how do you identify that what is the time of action? That you can determine with the help of tenses, right? So at times there is this quick question asked, so students get confused. There's nothing very complicated about it. Verbs tell you that the action is happening, and with the help of tenses, you come to know what is the time of action, right? So this concept of tenses is driven by verbs, right? And then pronoun ambiguity comes from pronouns, phrasal verbs comes from prepositions, and interjections are usually not tested. So you can see that there is nothing new that you are doing, and there is nothing significantly that difficult which is beyond you. You just need to keep in mind that you have to know the basic concepts very well before we actually move towards the higher ladder. So always I recommend that clear your fundamentals, because if you will not be very clear with your basics, then you would be actually caught in a trap. You would not know that where the problem is coming from or how to tackle the question. That is the reason a strong base on grammar, at least the fundamentals, is very much needed in order to enhance our skill set and become better, right? So let's start with the concept of parallel structure. So the first thing that you need to keep in mind is to understand that what do we mean by coordinating conjunctions. So let's first talk about conjunctions. So conjunctions are the words which combine, right? So and, but, or, nor, all these are conjunctions. Now when we talk about coordinating conjunctions are words which link or coordinate two or more similar ideas, phrases, clauses into one fluid idea. So I have three four names and I want to make one idea of it, I'll simply combine by and, right? If I'm going to the market and I ask my mom what should I get from the market, so she'll say that okay, get me turmeric powder, get me salt, get me organo, and do get me some chili flakes. So I'm using this and chili flakes, right? So it is very important for us to keep in mind that and we are using to make a list, right? So please keep this in mind, that how are we making a list using this word and, which is nothing but a conjunction, right? So what is the role of a conjunction? It is actually connecting. So it can be words. So like if I say bread and butter, so and is a conjunction, and bread and butter, two words are being combined. It can be phrases, like if I'll say I enjoy reading newspaper and listening to music. So reading newspaper and listening to music, these are two phrases which is combined with and. Or it can be two clauses, that she's a hardworking girl and also she is pretty. So these are two clauses that you're combining using and. So you have seen that how two words can be combined, then two phrases can be combined, two clauses can be combined, so that there is one fluid idea, right? So now in this list, we are including these four words which will play an important role in the concept of parallel structure. So you can please pen it down. I'll just write the words for you. The words would be and, but, or, nor. So these are four coordinating conjunctions, and you'll get a lot of concepts driven based on parallel structure by these conjunctions. So please do make a list of this, and then we are going to proceed further. Right? So I hope you are clear with the concept. Just to quickly revise, coordinating conjunctions are the conjunctions which are used to combine either words, phrases, or clauses together into one fluid idea, right? Into one single idea. And the list that we are going to make would be and, but, or, nor, right? I hope we are clear here. So let's further proceed. Now we are going to talk about parallel structure. See, again, very important thing, that our objective is not to become a grammar expert. Our objective is to answer the questions rightly which we encounter in the exam. So please ensure that you are putting effort in the right direction. Unnecessarily learning a lot of classifications or categories which are not tested in the exam would just waste our time, and that we wouldn't want. So our preparation should be very specific to the need of the exam and to the type of questions that are encountered. So now let's see what is this interesting term parallel structure. Now this term parallel structure is also referred as parallelism, right? Or there are some people who might also call it parallel construction, right? So all this we mean the same. There is nothing very different when we talk about parallel structure, parallel construction, or parallelism, right? So you need to keep in mind that this is nothing but actually parallelism or parallel structure being talked about, just three different names. Now let's understand what is parallel structure. Now parallel structure, like I was previously discussing with you, is a concept that comes from conjunctions. So parallel structure says that whatever two, three, or more entities or elements or words or phrases or clauses you are combining with conjunctions, they should have the same grammatical function. Now, what do we mean by the same grammatical function? Let's explore some examples and try and understand this. So take a look at the first example, though it is marked in green, so it is very easy for you to understand that the first set that we are considering, two nouns are connected by a conjunction. Are you able to see that in this case, Laura is a noun and sister? Both are nouns, right? What are nouns? Nouns we basically define as name of person, place, animal, or a thing, right? So a name of a person, place, animal, or a thing, we call it a noun. So Laura and sister both are nouns. So what are we doing? We're using this and, which is a conjunction, and both the elements that we are combining are having the same grammatical function. That means both are nouns. That's what we mean by this term, having the same grammatical function. So both are nouns. Further, let's see, Roger or Beth will win the election. So if you are able to see this, Roger or Beth, so or is a conjunction, and what are the two elements that we are combining? One, Roger, second, Beth. Both are nouns. So that's how parallel structure is established. So whatever two entities in both these examples we combined, both were nouns. So you are seeing that the grammatical function is the same, and that's what we mean by parallel structure. So I hope you are clear with this particular example, everybody who is attending the class. Right, so let's further proceed and look at the second example. Second set, that how grammatical function is maintained, is kept same while we are talking about joining using conjunctions. Michael raised his hand and asked a question. So see, what is the conjunction here? And so raised his hand, asked a question. So both these are verbs and these are combined using a conjunction, right? If phrases be here. So you can say that the phrases, these are verb phrases, right? So phrases are combined, but the grammatical function remains to be the same. Both are functioning as verbs, telling you about the action. Also, there is an interesting thing that you must have noticed, that the tense remains to be the same. Are you able to see? Tense remains to be the same. So if we can discreetly see, raised his hand and asked a question. So both these actions are happening in past, right? Rather in simple past. So that's what happens. So you can't have, of course, it's very logical also, right? You cannot have one action happening in past, another happening in present, right? You wouldn't combine using and. So this is fairly logical. There is nothing which is absolutely difficult or abstruse to understand. You just need to be very clear with the fundamentals, and then you'll be able to connect the dots in a logical fashion, right? So let's take a look at the next example. Dennis hesitated but continued the race anyway. So are you able to see that in this case, but is what? But is a conjunction. What are the two elements that you're combining? Hesitated, continued. So both are what? Both are verbs, right? So these are two set of examples that we have taken. The first set of examples, two nouns are connected by a conjunction. The set, two verbs are connected by conjunction, right? So I hope it is clear to everybody that what do we mean by parallel structure and the associated examples. So yes, we are talking about nouns being connected and we are talking about verbs being connected, right? I hope I make sense, everybody. So let's further proceed. Now take a look at this. When two infinitives are connected, the second two is usually omitted. So this is one rule which you can, note it down, because this is sometimes tested. And before we see the example, let me just introduce this term infinitive to you. Very simple. Since you are in a verbal class, you might encounter a few, terms which you are not aware, but that's fine. That's how learning happens, right? One doesn't know everybody, and attending the class has a reason that we would learn something new. So let's see, what do we mean by infinitives? So when we talk about infinitives, to plus verb first form is an infinitive. As simple as that. Nothing very difficult about it. So if we talk about to plus verb ka first form, you call it infinitive, right? So let's see how. In this again, you are able to see and, which is a conjunction. So what are the two elements being combined? To go, which is an infinitive verb, to interview, which is again infinitive verb. So you can omit the later part. That's what the rule says, right? But if you're keeping to, then also it is not incorrect, but usually the later two which appears later, that means we are talking about this two which is in bracket, you can omit this. That means you can remove this and the sentence will still be grammatically correct, right? Take a look at the next example. We want to attend the theater or to play a board game tonight. So what are the two options? Either they are going to go to the theater. Now here or is the conjunction and they are going to play a board game. So this two can be omitted, right? So I hope you are clear with infinitive. You are able to understand that how we are combining two elements with the help of conjunction and we are keeping the grammatical function to be the same, right? I hope we are able to observe these little details. Very important. See, there's nothing very fancy about it, but if you're going to be very clear and if you revise the rules, then application would become easy for you, right? So let's take a look at the next set. Two adjectives are connected by a conjunction. So you can see the singer's voice was tender but strong. So tender and strong, voice could explain karta hai, that's an adjective. So tender and strong both are functioning as adjectives. The cake was tasty and sweet. So in this case, you can see tasty and sweet both are what? Both are adjectives, right? So these are examples that are demonstrating that how parallel structure is maintained while we are connecting two elements, but both are functioning in the similar manner, right? The grammatical function is the same. Now let's take a look at the next example. Two adverbs are connected by conjunction. So adverbs are that tell you the quality of verbs, adverbs and adjectives. I'll quickly revise the concept with you so that's easy to understand. So if I make a statement like this, she runs quickly. So in this case, quickly is what? Quickly is an adverb to the verb runs, right? So it's defining how the action is happening. Run is the verb. I'll slightly tweak the statement and I'll make it like this. She runs very quickly. So in this case, you need to understand that very is an adverb. Quickly, as we discussed, is another adverb. So very is an adverb to the next adverb, to another adverb. So an adverb can also be used to qualify another adverb. So adverbs eventually help us to answer the question, right? How is she running? Quickly. How quickly? Very quickly, right? And so I hope this is the verb and adverb example is clear. Let's take a look at the adjective. So if I say she is a very pretty girl. So I'm sure you're able to see pretty is an adjective to girl, and how pretty is she? She's very pretty. So very is what? Very is an adverb to this adjective. So I hope we are clear with this, right? So these are adverbs, slightly digressed, but so the term was here. So quick revision here and there makes the acceptability of the concept better. So let's see. The thief walked softly and quickly. So walked action is being defined. So in this case, softly and quietly are functioning as adverbs that telling us that how the verb is being performed, or telling more about the action, right? And if you take the next example, the plane was flying fast but low. So in this case, how was the plane flying? Fast and slow both are describing the action or the verb, so both are adverbs, right? So I hope you are clear with the examples that we have studied so far. Quickly pen it down, anything that you find important and you feel like that you would be wanting to revise later, quickly do in a minute and then we are going to proceed further. Great. So I hope you have noted down the important points and you have absorbed the information. I know grammar sessions are little too intense and at times become boring, but when we have our clear goal in our mind and when we are doing a lot of examples and doing scratch paper work, you'll be more involved and you'll feel more focused, right? So let's further proceed. Now we'll be talking about correlative conjunctions. Just remember we talked about coordinating conjunctions and I asked you to write four conjunctions. I hope you remember and, but, or, nor. So let's talk about correlative conjunctions. There is another name to it which we call paired, right? So as it is very much represented by the name itself, these are the conjunctions which exist in pair. That means two, right? So what are these combinations that will help you crack the concept of parallel structure or the questions of parallel structure? Let's take a look. So both and, neither nor, either or, not only but also. So I'm sure you are friendly with these conjunctions. You are not reading them for the first time. In fact, most of you must have used these conjunctions also. We are just going to align them in accordance with the concept of parallel structure and learn more about it. So let's explore. So see, when we are using both and with two subjects, the plural form of verb is used because they are talking about two subjects together, right? So take a look at this example. Both my shirt and my pant are brand new. This is something, my dear students, very important. Why? This has multiple reasons for being important, right? So wherever you are, making your notes, consider this to be an important part. First, this is a concept of conjunction and associated with parallel structures, so that's being tested. Second, with this concept, the concept of subject to verb agreement is also attached. Second thing. Third, at times you might be asked that you know that with both only and can go and nothing else, right? So there are three parameters that are tested, so it becomes a very vital concept. So it is very much needed that you pay attention and wherever and whenever needed, please make quick notes and revise this particular slide is very crucial because that's going to govern a lot of concepts. In any question where there is a possibility of testing many points, right, that question has got a high possibility to be included in the exam, right? So that's the reason, please mark it. This is an important concept and you'll get a lot of questions coming from it, so please be careful and please be more focused, right? So take a look. Now with both and you're combining two. So what are the two elements that you're combining? Shirt and pant. You can see both shirt and pant remain to be what? Nouns, right? So the parallel structure is maintained. So हमारा पहला concept तो ये हो गया कि यहाँ पे देखिए parallel structure maintained. Next is, since my shirt, my pant both are plural terms, so the verb is going to be plural. So this is the concept of subject verb agreement that's also attached to it, like I was explaining it to you, right? So there is no discrepancy whenever you're using both and the verb is also going to be plural in nature, always going to be plural in nature, right? Now, what happens when we talk about the other three combinations? That means we talk about the combination of not only but also, either or, neither or. What happens in that case, that we need to understand. So let's take a look at some examples. So here what happens is that the verb is decided on the basis of the subject which is near to the verb. Too technical, let's take an example. So see, look at the first sentence. Not only Susie, but also her friend is coming. So I've intently kept it bold so that it is easy to relate. So we're combining Susie and her friend, right? So what is near to the verb friend? What is the nature of the word friend? Is it singular or plural? It is singular, right? So what is the verb going to be? Verb is also going to be singular. Take a look at the second statement. Not only Susie, but also her friends are coming. So what are the two elements you're combining? Susie, second, friends. So what is the nature of friends? Is it singular or plural? It is plural. So what is going to be the verb? Verb is also going to be plural, right? Understood? So whatever subject is closer to the verb determines whether the verb is going to be singular or plural. The rule is already there on the screen and we are learning some of the examples where the usage can be better understood. Let's take a next look at the next sentence. Neither Susie nor her friend is coming to the dinner. So are you able to see that in this case Susie, her friend, both are singular? What we have done is, instead of not only but also, we have used now the combination of neither nor, right? So this is where is remains to be correct, right? So neither Susie nor her friend. So we have tweaked it. So which is near to the verb friends? With the nature of friends is plural. So the verb is also going to be plural. Isn't it a very interesting concept, right? So I'll just ask you to take 30 seconds and just walk through the concepts again. You'll be more comfortable and you'll be able to absorb the information better, and then we are going to proceed. Please do so. Great. So I hope you are comfortable with what parallel structure is. Let's further proceed. Now we are talking about some examples just to help you understand that how the sentences are not parallel and how they are parallel. Just to help you connect the dots and see that how the questions might look. Of course, we will do the actual questions, but this is more to get fundamental clarity. So take a look. Not parallel. My friend took me dancing and to a show. So you are able to see that here in this case, the first example, here is dancing, which is a gerund, and show to a show is an infinitive. We just learned, right? So they are two different grammatical functions. So this is not parallel. So how do we correct it? Took me to a dance and a show. So I did tell you that while we are connecting infinitives, you can omit the later two. So that is the reason the sentence is now grammatically correct. So what did you do? You ensured that both the elements that you're combining with conjunction have the same grammatical function, right? Take a look at the next example. My dog not only likes to play fetch but also chase cars, right? So not only but also, so how it should be going like, my dog not only likes to play fetch but he also likes to chase cars, right? So that's important. Or you can make it parallel by reframing the sentence like this: my dog likes not only to play fetch but also to chase cars. So I hope you're clear with the concept, and we can further proceed and take a quick quiz. So what are we going to do? We have some sentences in front of us, and you can see that, okay, we can see 5 sentences on the screen, and you can see in bracket you have to pick that what should be the right choice so that the grammatical function remains same and the parallel structure is established. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Quickly try these questions, and then we are going to begin with the discussion. Please do so. Please be sincere while you are attempting, right? Focus. If you have made some pointers, if you have written some rules, which is always a good thing, you can take a look, but show extreme sincerity while you're attempting the questions, right? Because here we'll be able to, actually know that how we are capable enough to apply the concepts that we have learned so far, right? So please attempt it. Don't just wait for the answers to be discussed. Rather, make an effort. In case you go wrong, that's fine, right? This is a learning phase and this is okay to make mistakes, but I always believe that you should first give it a try, and then it will be easy to recognize your mistakes, and it will be, a better learning process. So please give it a try, and then we are going to definitely discuss all in detail. Great. So I'm sure you've attempted. Let's start with the discussion. So yesterday, John had to work on thesis, write a letter, and play in a softball game. So how do I correct it? Play or to play? So let's take a look. Work on thesis, write a letter. So what are we doing? Here it is 2 plus infinitive, right? So this is 2 plus verb for first form. Now here what are we doing? We are omitting this. So in this case, if we are omitting 2 here, we are going to omit it here also. So the correct would be play in a softball game, right? I hope you're able to understand. Now let's take a look at the next sentence. Four events in the school sport days are 200-meter race, high jump, and short put. So instead of pole vaulting, we would pick pole vault, right? It's not saying 200-meter racing, high jumping, short putting. So this is how we are going to give preference to pole vault to ensure that our sentence is grammatically correct. Right? Let's take a look at the third statement. Tara enjoyed drinking water and wine tasting. So how are we doing? Drinking and then water comes. So tasting and then wine will come. So tasting wine would be the correct answer choice, right? I hope your answers are correct. In case it there was a mistake, I hope you're able to understand that how would you reach to the correct answer. Now take a look at the next sentence. Watching a recording on YouTube is not as exciting as. So see, what are we combining? Watching a recording and watching the performance live. So watching would be the correct answer, right? Alan likes to hike dash we need to pick concerts and to play guitar. So you can see here we have two here and we here have two here also. So we would pick to attend concerts as the right answer, right? So I hope you're clear with all these five questions and you're getting some fundamental clarity as to how the questions are created. Now let's further move on and try the next five sentences, right? So we have to correct the following sentences. To take a look, read all the sentences. Now you've done some basic quiz. We have slightly raised the bar now, and then of course we will solve some multiple choice questions also. So please do, quickly attempt these questions and then we are going to discuss. Please be very focused. You have solved some basic questions, so it would not be very difficult. Do give it a shot, then of course we are going to discuss in detail. I hope you have tried. Now let's discuss. Mike likes to listen to rock music and reading mystery novels. So here, if you're going to see that what are the two things that we are combining with and, two likes to listen to rock music and reading. So here we are saying to listen. So here it should be to read mystery novels, right? So we will keep infinitives both the sides because parallel structure says that the grammatical function should remain the same. Now let's take a look at the second statement. Julia is in charge of stocking the shelves, writing orders, and to sell computers. So here we are keeping stocking, writing. So we are going to say and selling computers. So that's how we are going to rectify the second statement. Now let's take a look at the third one. My grandfather's favorite pastime is to eat in trendy restaurants and visiting art galleries. So wow, grandfather has got an interesting personality. So we should learn and we should also be such cool people. To eat in trendy, so this is to eat. Rather, you can have it to eat in trendy restaurants and to visit art galleries, right? Or you could also do it like this, that eating in trendy restaurants and visiting art galleries. So however you like, since it's an open-ended question, you don't have the option. So either of the ways you can modify the statement. Either you can say, my grandfather's favorite pastime is eating in trendy restaurants and visiting art galleries. This is one way. The second way can be, my grandfather's favorite pastime is to eat in trendy restaurants and to visit art galleries, right? I hope you are clear with the example. So let's come to the next statement. While in France, my nephew spent his time studying French, okay, working in a restaurant, and he jogged. So his time studying French, working, so and is there. Now here you are having an entire phrase. That's how it cannot happen. And then what are you going to do? And he jogged ki jagah, you can write jogging along. So jogging along the Seine River every morning. Seine is a very beautiful river in France, right? So I hope you are clear with the correction, right? So let's take a look at the next statement. Joan decided to paint her office to add some new curtains and that the rugs dry cleaning. So, and to dry clean the rugs, right? So, are we able to see? So, what are the actions happening? To paint her office, to add some new curtains, and that the rug needs dry cleaning. So, this is a phrase. So, we'll just say to dry clean the rugs. Right? So I hope we are clear with all the questions and you're feeling more confident, you're feeling more empowered. So now we are going to move to some multiple choice questions. So I'll give you a quick minute, quickly solve it, and then we'll begin with the discussion. Everybody start doing it. Okay, so let's start with the discussion. So the restaurant is spacious, pleasantly cluttered, and has good lighting. So what are the three elements? Spacious, pleasantly cluttered, and so we are seeing and is there. So it's a list, and we will check for parallel structure and has good lighting. So this is not what we would want. We are just going for adjectives. So has good lighting gets eliminated. Lighting is good gets eliminated. Is lit well gets eliminated. Being well lit, you can't just make it passive, and well lit. So we are just connecting three adjectives, right? Spacious, pleasantly cluttered, and well lit. So what would be the correct answer for this question? D. I hope it is clear. See, such simple questions are there just to know the concept and you are through to it, right? Let's try the next one. So again, take a minute, solve the question, and then we will discuss. Please eliminate the incorrect choices. Whatever remains shall serve as the right answer. So keep the approach in your mind and also the concept. So concept and approach both should go hand in hand while we are solving the questions. Look for the error, eliminate the answer choices which are reflecting the error. Then for the rest of the answer choices, check whether the original error is rectified, no new error is introduced, there is no change in the information that the sentence is offering, and go for the answer choice which is most precise and crisp. Okay. So let's try this. The college board made a request to the authorities that the waiver be obtained and that the residency requirements are reviewed. So if you will see and say what are the two elements being combined, authorities waiver be obtained. So requirements be reviewed, right? So R gets eliminated, right? This and this also gets eliminated. Now be reviewed is reflected in B and C. So here in this case it will be reviewed. So here the tense varies, so that we would not want, and hence we are going to go for C as the right answer, right? So we could see that in A, D and E there was no grammatical structure that was established. B and C were doing it, but B there was a variation in tenses that we would not want, hence we picked C as the final answer, right? So let's try the next question. I'll give you a quick minute, please try it, and then we are going to discuss. Okay, let's start the discussion. Some of the many changes set for sports field in the coming years include building additional seating, improving safety. So are you able to see improving, building, and the construction of a new varsity athletic center? So instead of construction, we would want ing form, constructing, right? So first we will eliminate where ing form is not being shown. So that ways we'll be fighting fewer enemies, and that's always wise, right? If you are in a war, you would not want to battle five enemies, instead you would want to battle fewer enemies. So you will find ways that let me eliminate the weaker enemies first, and then I'll target the major ones, so the concentration of energy would be better. And that's what we are going to do while we are solving the questions. Right approach is needed. So wherever I see ing form is not there, that's a clear eviction. So let's first eliminate those answer choices. So that helps us eliminate D and E. Now we have two answer choices, and also the construction, and also are you able to see this is redundancy? Both are doing the same thing, right? So redundant, repetition of information which is not needed. We, like I said, that we look for consistent answers which are grammatically correct, then precise answers where the meaning does not change, and then concise answers. So where there is no repetition of information. So you can see clearly the redundant information. So which is the correct answer? B. See, it is so easy. It is nothing very complicated when it comes to parallel structure questions or in general to grammar questions if your approach is correct and you're being very strategic, right? So let's try the next question. Please take a minute and then we are going to discuss this. I hope you have tried it. So let's quickly discuss. John is not only a terrific pianist but also great at playing cricket. So you must have seen here we are giving a noun, but here we are making a phrase, and not only but also a correlative conjunction. So parallel structure should be established, right? So either it should be John is not only a terrific pianist but also a great cricket player, right? Or it should be John is not only playing a terrific piano, right? So that's how the parallel structure is not there. Let's see what are the answer choices that we have. So first is same as the underlined portion. We can eliminate it. Uh, John is not only a terrific pianist but is also great at playing cricket. So ये इसका position change किया but error तो same ही है. तो ये भी eliminate हो गया. Not only great at playing cricket, John also. So not only but also होता है तो but नहीं है यहाँ पर. So this is also not correct. John is not only a terrific pianist but also a great cricket player, right? So both the ways we are using nouns. So of course, D looks promising. We can keep it. Never take a final call till you explore all the options. Make it a standard thumb rule for all the grammar-driven questions, or rather for all the questions of verbal. Please be sure that the other answer choices are incorrect while you go for the final selection, right? Also great at playing cricket, John is a terrific pianist. This is where the structure of the sentence varies. So we will go for D as the right answer, right? So I hope it is clear. The questions are simple, just the approach should be strategic and you should be clear with the fundamentals. So let's try this question. Take a minute and then we are going to discuss it. I hope you have tried. Let's discuss now. Rajiv's co-workers appreciated both his dedication and the way he paid attention to detail. So I hope you're able to see both and. This is correlative conjunction, right? We also called it paired conjunctions or correlative. So dedication and the way he paid attention to detail. So this is a clause. We would just want the word, right? And the way he paid attention to detail. So that's the same as the first underlined portion. So it's very easy to eliminate. And also praised. So again, you are going to see that and also is redundancy as we were discussing. And his attention. So both his dedication and his attention to detail. So yes, this helps us make the sentence go in a parallel structure. So we can keep C. Now, like I said, don't take a final call till you explore all the answer choices. So let's come to D. They praise the way he paid attention to detail. So in this case, you are just unnecessarily dragging the sentence, and both should go with and is missing in the statement, right? So this is another error. It might look convincing, but see, and is gone. So paired, that is the reason both has to have an and in it, right? Both cannot have also. Both needs to have and. So this is another way with in which the question is tested. So that is the reason we are going to pick C as the final answer, right? Easy questions, interesting questions. The concept, if you know and you know the approach, then you can just solve the questions very, very quickly, right? So let's further try this. It's a lengthy one, so do take your time, and then we are going to discuss. An interesting question, slightly difficult, but now you have tried so many questions, so I'm sure you are feeling more comfortable to attempt this. Don't get intimidated, just give it a shot. Take another 10 seconds and then we are going to discuss. So let's see. With organizations investing huge part of their advertising budgets online, the market for content such as feature articles and opinion essays created by professional writer, blogger, and by individual users are expanding rapidly, right? So see, this is a very interesting question because this has got one area where subject verb agreement is being also tested. Let's see how. For content such as featured articles created by professional market. So for content till here, if you are going to see, this is separated. So the subject is the market, which is singular, so the verb is also going to be singular, right? So if you're able to see this error first, then you can very easily eliminate A, B, right? So this is subject verb agreement. The subject is made distinct with the verb by adding a prepositional phrase that should not impact our choice of verbs. This point has been explained in detail in our video of subject verb agreement, so please do watch the video, right? So we can eliminate A and B. Now we have two answer choices. So let's see. Here we are doing personal writer singular, blogger singular, and by individual users. So you cannot, either you have writers, bloggers, and individual users, or you have writer, blogger, and an individual user, right? So again, you need to see that singularity and plurality also affect parallel structure. So we are going to test these two sentences. The market for content such as feature articles, opinion essays created by writer, blogger, and individual users. So again, both these terms are singular. This is plural. So we are going to eliminate this. Now, if you take a look at the D answer choice, the market for content such as feature articles, opinion essays created by professional writers, bloggers, and individual users is expanding. यहाँ पे this sounds incorrect, but this is actually correct. So this is one very good question. You can take a look at it again so that you are completely sorted with it. Market and are. So there was one concept of subject verb agreement and the list writer, blogger, and user. There was second concept of parallel structure. So where the grammar is important and where it's not a quick time based test but it's a concept driven exam, you will find such questions, right? Like it is a good possibility that this question can appear in GMAT, right? So please pay attention to such nitty gritties because that's where your real skill is tested, right? So I'm sure you really enjoyed solving this question. So let's do this and then we are going to finish with our discussions. Please try this. I'll give you 1 minute. We'll discuss this and then we'll close the discussion. So I hope you have tried. Let's take a look. The art of Picasso, the inventions of Newton. So are we able to see? First we are saying art of Picasso, then invention of Newton. So play of Shakespeare should be there instead of Shakespeare's plays. All represent great achievements in human history. So we are able to see here either we should have Picasso's art, Newton's inventions, and Shakespeare's play, or either we should have art of Picasso, inventions of Newton, and play of Shakespeare, right? So this is wrong. A can be eliminated. Picasso, Newton, and Shakespeare all represent great achievements. Their work represent great achievement, not these three people. So this is changing the meaning of the sentence. This might sound correct as far as parallel structure is concerned, but like here, the precision is hampered. It changes the meaning, right? So that we would not want. So again, a very interesting, tricky option. All great achievements in human history are represented by art of Picasso, the inventions and plays. All no. So they're saying that these three are all great achievements, but all the three achievements are just three. Again, the meaning gets tempered. So C also gets eliminated. That's the beauty of process of elimination. You keep on eliminating the incorrect answer choices. Whatever remains shall serve as the right answer. So I hope you really enjoyed the class. You have become better with the concept. Please don't forget that consistency is the key. The more you're going to practice, the better you will feel, the more comfortable you would be with such concepts. Take care, all the best. Keep learning, keep revising. Thank you for watching the video. God bless.